Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Midwest Tape Advanced Website Settings webinar. If you're just joining us just now, you do have the ability to adjust the view of the presentation by clicking on that monitor icon. It has the 4 arrows going out of each corner. We're going to be going back and forth between the website and the PowerPoint, and so having that full screen option there will make it easier to follow along. My name is Mike Riedemann, and I had sent you the invitation today. I'm being joined by my colleagues Lisa Smith and Elaine Schlaghek. We're part of the inside sales team here at Midwest Tape. I'd also like to welcome all of our Canadian libraries from our partner CVS. Some of you may notice a subtle difference in the website, but these are merely aesthetic, but the tools and functionality is the same. We did have over 150 libraries register today. We're going to be going over a lot of material. If you have any questions, I encourage you to send that along to Elaine, who's going to be handling the Q&A. And if we don't answer your question during the session, please be assured that we will follow up with you. The reason for inviting you is that all of you are at the administration level on our site, and most of you are very familiar with the website and comfortable navigating around. So we're not going to be covering any of the basics like layout or any of the collection development areas. What we are going to be covering is the advanced features in the Tools and Settings tab. We'll be reviewing personal settings, which allow you to save time while completing tasks in the cart building stage and with downloading reports and records. We'll be exploring the library settings for looking at the accounts, your branches, funds, along with reviewing how to set up and maintain multiple users on the site while maintaining very specific roles for each person. We'll also be exploring all the reporting and downloading features of the site for all open and deleted carts and orders. We'll show you where you can access our free vendor records and our full OCLC mark records. And we'll finish with some Q&A time and a special announcements of our webinar coming up in September. So at this time, we're going to go to the home page. And we're going to take a look first at the Settings tab, which is located at the navigation bar here at the top. This Settings tab allows you to edit your personal preferences and contact info. And so the first area I want to hit upon here in the personal settings is the login. Just when you click on this icon here, it's where you can go to change your username and password. These personal settings, by the way, everyone who has a login on the Midwest Tape has access here. The contact info, this is where you can go to change any of your personal information. Say you had to change a phone number, or you receive a new title, or you move to a different branch. This is where you can re-enter that info there. This checkbox right below your email address here is where, it says I'd like to receive periodic emails from Midwest Tape. When you check on this option, you're going to be included on our marketing department's contact list there. So you would just need to save or cancel to disregard what you've entered. We'll go back up into the Settings tab here. And we're going to skip over downloads right now. Lisa's going to touch upon that later on in the presentation, but we'll click on this Personal Preferences icon right here. And this is where you can edit various preferences that really affect how the site can function for you. And this first one here, assign the same fund as the last product added to a cart. If your library regularly purchases AV material from a fund, you can create and assign multiple fund codes. And so this option is going to allow you to designate that exact same fund as the last item you put into a cart. This vendor check mark box here, this just automatically designates that any of the items you put into your cart will be checked to receive a vendor record. Now this next one, this drop down for accounts to use for new carts, this just gives you the ability to always default to a certain account when adding items to a new cart instead of always having to select on a drop down list. So I'm going to go to the home page here to show you what happens. Let's click on this title, Brave. And after I've entered my quantity here, and I want to add my selection to a new cart, when this panel comes up under the account drop-down, it says please select. So you would have to go in and actually select that. But back in your personal preferences here, if you select the account that you want to use, just simply click there, and then each time you add an item to a new cart, it will automatically be there and you don't have to choose. The next option down from that is remember the state of search and browse controls between visits. And what this allows you to do is when you're in either this Browse tab or Search tab here, we'll go into the Browse here. On the left-hand side on this panel, you see how you have the ability to select a particular format to browse in, and then there are all these subcategories below that. If you're working on an ongoing project and you really want to stay on one of these tabs, you have the ability to stay there so that when you go back to your browse page, you don't have to keep selecting the format and the subcategory that you were working in. And then finally, the last option is the Blu-ray and play-away warning. And what this simply is that, for some of you that choose movies and you also select Blu-ray, you'll notice each time you go to put a Blu-ray item in your cart, you'll get a warning just letting you know, hey, you've selected a Blu-ray title and not just a DVD. And the same thing for a play-away for any of those of you that select audiobooks. This just disables those warnings for you. And you just always want to remember to click Save or Cancel. And at this time, I'm going to go to a poll. And I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint here, actually to poll number 2. And I want to ask a question that, even though it's not exactly relevant to what we're discussing today, I thought it would be informative and fun for all the participants to see what the attendees are doing in the world of offering digital video streaming. So if you have any inclination to answer the poll and as far as what your library is doing for offering digital video streaming. I'll give it a few more seconds here. We've got quite a few answers. Great to see. And 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm going to show the poll results. And quite a few of you do not currently offer digital video services, but few of you, more than yes, see that happening in the next 12 months. So I appreciate you answering that poll question and hope you found it interesting. Let's go back to the home page here. And at this point now, we're going to go back into settings. But now you see that on the bottom half is the library settings panel. And as administrators, you are the individuals who have access to these areas. This first icon here, Accounts, this is where all the accounts will be listed for your library. And if needed, you can set up different accounts for either different formats or for adults and children. They're not always needed. We can sometimes accommodate your needs in a different manner without setting up a whole new account. If you ever have any questions, please call customer service to determine what might be best for your needs, or feel free to contact us in sales. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint here. I have a display here of what your screen would actually look like. This first column here is your account ID. It's just simply a 10-digit number. It's new to Midwest Tape this year as a result of our software upgrade. The next column over is your legacy account number that you've been familiar with. Next column over to that is the name of the accounts that are all set up. And over on the far right, your shipping and billing addresses will always be listed on this page as well. Now you have the ability to edit and control certain settings for each account, and I'll demonstrate that. So on this page, you have the ability to require a PO number with any order placed simply by checking on or off there. We do require an authorization for ordering full MARC records. So this section right here that's entitled OCLC MARC records, it simply lets you know if you've already filled this authorization form out, which is presented at the time you attempt to download a full OCLC MARC record that first time. This next option down, the vendor MARC records, you have the ability to enter an email address under here. And this is going to designate who receives the vendor records for a whole cart at the time the order is placed. And you can enter as many addresses in this field as needed there. And so this next section down is the ship to, bill to address. You would need to contact us for any changes here, but this is where it would be displayed. And on the bottom of the screen here, authorized users for this account. This can be designated under the user's icon that I'll be reviewing here in a little bit. Simply check on or off the names that you would like to have access or not to for the account that you're in. You would just need to remember to save to register your edits or cancel to disregard. And so next we're going to talk about the branch listings and branch distributions. We can set up as many individual branches that you have for your library into our system, and these branch designations are going to be listed for you when building carts and in the cart view, which you can edit before placing your order. You then have all those branch designations listed within your cart and have the ability to print or view a summary of all the items in your cart by branch. A selector can access open or shipped orders by their designated branches if they want to just go to their designated branches if they wish, or they can look at all the branches that have items in the open or shipped orders. But let's go to this branch listings here, and the first thing I want to mention is that you don't have the ability to set up a branch yourself. You will just need to email us this information by clicking on the Request New Branch link here, or you can simply call the 1-800 number and speak with customer service, and we'd be happy to get that set up for you. So once they're all set up, they're all going to be listed in this area here. You're going to see the abbreviation to the left that will show up on the website, and then you've got the full name of the branch for that abbreviation. And you've got the sort order here, as it would appear on the website, the shipping address, and then if you need to change any branch info, you can simply click there. You can edit the branch info by clicking on this abbreviation here. So we'll go into this Willow branch. The branch location is always going to be listed on this right side of the panel here. And on the left side of the panel is a text field where you can designate which order the branch shows up in. And again, the sort order means, when you add an item to a cart or view the item later in your cart, this branch that is named Willow will show up first in that listing. Like the account page I just showed you, you have the ability to specify which individuals should have access. Just click on or off, and you'll want to click Save or Cancel to disregard. The branch distribution setting, this allows you to very easily go through your cart and add a specific predetermined set quantity, I should say, for each branch at one time, instead of having to go through one by one and adding them. Also, some branches may not order a particular format, so this is a very easy way to set up certain quantities for certain branches, but leave a zero quantity for other branches. And as an administrator, you have the ability to set up and edit your branch here. Click on it. So on this page, you see the distribution name listed here on the left. You've got the designated sort order and the total quantity that comprises that entire branch distribution. By clicking on this new tab here, you can enter a whole new branch distribution. Let's click on existing one here. We'll click on this CD music one and explore what it entails here. So first you're going to see the distribution name here. And then the next field down, you can set the sort order that would appear on the website. Next up, you would just go through the branches that you have set up and set those quantities in there. So we've got 2 for the Swanton, 1 for the Maumee, and 1 for the Oregon branch. We've got the total quantity listed here at the bottom. You would just hit save, and you're good to go. You can actually delete this branch distribution if you no longer use that. Cancel, of course, to disregard the changes you made. We'll go back up into settings. I'm going to skip over this vendor mark configuration icon right now and go into this funds icon a little bit here. And like the branches, you and your staff members have the ability to tag either individual items or all items in a cart with a fund designation. And this is going to be reflected on your paperwork, invoices, packing slips, as well as on reports like the branch and fund summary that's found on the cart page. We'll click on this funds. And like the branch distributions, you do have the ability to set these up yourself. So you would just click on New to set up a new one, or we could click on this fund abbreviation here to edit an existing one. Let's look at this adult DVD. So you can name the fund as you wish in this text field here. However, if you do go in and change this later, all of your orders, including the previous ones, are going to reflect this updated name. So if this is a concern, we suggest just create a brand new fund. And you can then add a description to go with your fund name here below that. The active checkbox must be selected right here. You do have the ability to disable it, of course. And like the accounts and the branch listings and branch distributions, you have the ability to select who does and does not have the ability to designate the items or carts with that particular fund. Now this can also be done in the user's icon, and I'll be going through that in just a little bit. But let's go into the cart view right now to take a look at how this works together a little bit. So we have all of our titles listed at top. We've got the quantity tab here at the bottom. And you'll notice we have this fund drop down here. And for all these CDs, we could choose our LCD fund that we've set up for this particular title. You also see the branch distributions that we had set up there, and that has CD music listed in that #1 sort order that we had designated it. And then you've got, which I selected the CD music branch distribution, so it's got all of the branches listed down here. And once I clicked on that, it automatically populated these branches with that branch distribution quantity. So we've got that selected for this one title, but say we want to have the CDs all reflect this branch distribution. We could go through and individually check off these boxes here for each title. I'm just going to simply check all of them by hitting the top checkbox. I'm going to go into the Products tab here, and I'm going to set branch distributions underneath there. The first one is the CD music, which we designate as the #1 sort order, so I click on that. And I could select just the selected items or items in the cart. Once you click Set, all of the items in the cart now are set to the branch distribution. We had some interference on our line. Sounds like we're okay, so I'm going to proceed here. And so this is the page that's going to break down the branch summaries, and it's also going to give you a fun summary page. So this is one way to view the entire cart listings, and you can print this out as well. I'm going to go back to the home page here. We're going to go back into the Settings tab, and we're going to hit upon this Library Preferences icon now. And this Library Preferences icon, it contains minimal information. About the only relevant info I can pass on to you is that you would see a 10-digit number that would start with a 1 in this section right here. This is your master account number. It's internal to Midwest Tape. It's uniquely yours. That cannot be changed, as well as your library name below that's listed here. If for some reason your name does change, just give us a call and we can take care of getting all the shipping and billing info taken care of. But this fourth option here that says prevent non-administrators from changing their username and password, you do have the ability to prevent anyone on your staff from changing their login info. You can select this, but that is an option that you have. Just need to click Save or Cancel. Go back to Settings. And next to Library Preferences is the Open URLs icon here. Midwest Tape can create a link to your OPAC. And this tab here is where you can enter open URL addresses for either ISBN, UPC, OCLC, or title-based searches in your library's catalog. Title and UPC are usually the strongest match points, but usually libraries ask us to set all this information up for them. So if you're not exactly sure of your library's open URL template string, just please don't hesitate to give us a call and we can take care of implementing this very convenient link from our catalog to yours. Going to go to the users icon now. And this is where you can either edit the current users from your library or you can set up new users from your library to access our website. And a great thing about the Midwest Tape website is that you can have as many users on our site. There's no additional charge. And with multiple users, you as the admin still have complete control to do certain things like restricting any of the individuals from actually placing orders. Or you can make sure that users are building carts for only certain formats or for certain branches or for certain funds. And this user settings allows you to completely customize your workflow between collection development, acquisitions, tech services, administration. And so having everyone who works on the Midwest Tape website with their own logins, this is going to allow for overall better organization. You're going to have better customization, better transparency, as well as greater efficiency and effective teamwork. And it also allows our customer service and sales teams to serve you better. If we would want to set up a new user, we could just click on this New tab. All of your existing users with a login are listed here. You have your login name under this first column. You've got their first and last name, of course. You can designate whether they're enabled or not to get onto the website. And then all of their roles are defined here in this right column. And the definitions for those roles are listed right here. We have 5 different definitions there. So let's click on this first name here. And you have the ability to edit all of this info here. The basic info is listed on the top. You could give them a login and a password at this point. You will want to be sure to click on this checkbox where it says allow this user to log in whenever you create a new account for someone. Edited at any time. And then you can select which accounts. So Aaron's title up there was Children's Librarian, so we'll click on this children's account right here, the 43614C. If you have, a dozen counts or so, you could check all to give them complete access. But further, you have the ability to restrict them only to certain branches, as well as the funds that you have set up. So since Aaron was the juvenile selector, we'll select juvenile DVD and audiobooks. And you just need to remember to hit save or to delete the user or to cancel the disregard. So these settings, they not only give you the flexibility to accommodate your needs when they're set up properly, really gives everyone involved the peace of mind of not making certain mistakes like accessing the wrong account or ordering for the wrong branches or using funds, they shouldn't, be loading carts in for. And if you're ever unsure about what might be best for your library, please, again, don't hesitate to contact us. We have a lot of experience working with libraries of all different sizes, and, we can talk with you and recommend how best to walk through the setup process of everyone in your department. And before I go to this user groups here, I'm going to go to another poll real quickly here. And the question that I've posed here is, do multiple staff members provide input on a particular AV format or genre? The next area is going to tie into this a little bit, so I was just curious how many of you out there are collaborating with multiple people there at your library for selection. And 3, 2, 1, I'll show the poll results. And the vast majority of you do. So this is going to come in real handy, this next section here on user groups. And this really comes into play with proceed. We apologize for that. But as I was saying, it can be a collaborative effort among multiple people. Now, whether it's 2 or 3 or even, 9 or 10 or more. So this setting here can be especially helpful when sharing our flexible, non-obligation, and contract-free customized standing order carts as well. So click on the user groups. We could click on this new tab to set up a new one, of course, but we're going to click on an existing user group that I've set up here. So first field here is just your group name that you would want to name the user group. And then the bottom section here just lists all of the users that have logins, and it's just a matter of checking on or off with those that should be included in the group, and you press save. And so that way when you're sharing a cart, if you always know that there's someone that you collaborate with on a particular format or genre, you don't have to keep going through and selecting those individuals. You just simply click this user group and you can proceed with sharing it then. So back to the Settings tab here under Library Settings. I'm going to hit upon this Vendor Mark Configuration tab real quickly. And I saved this icon for last, as Lisa's going to be showing you where you can download our free vendor records. And I just wanted to simply make the point that on this page, here you have the ability to include or exclude any of the tags by checking off on the checkboxes right next to them. And further, you have the ability to extend the attributes for certain taglines. So for instance, in this 245 title line here, you can make it all uppercase here, or you could use the OCLC for the 001 tagline there. But if you ever need advice on getting that ahead and proceed. I'm actually going to pass this next part of the presentation over to my colleague Lisa Smith. She's going to review the major aspects of our reporting and downloading functions on the website.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right. Mainly today I'm going to focus on the Tools tab, and I definitely want to apologize for the static. We're going to go ahead and take that up with our carrier, meeting carrier. So we'll get that handled, so thank you. All right, so the Tools tab. This is one of my favorites here. This is where you have the ability to access your orders, your invoices, view cancellations, split your carts, look at any list of outstanding records that have not been received, and many other functions here. I want you to keep in mind all users with the login can access the Tools tab. So everybody with each role has this access, okay? We are going to start with Tools, and this is my favorite area, Search Orders. I find that this is most likely the most helpful for our library customers. Now, notice when you're in your search orders, you can have your results listed and presented to you in two different ways, by order or by title. I prefer to have them presented to me by order, and you'll see why here. We have different search modes, and you can do this one-click search, which I recommend. We have a simple search and advanced. Okay, I'll come back to the one-click, but for simple search, if you're looking for a title that's between users throughout your library, let's say, for instance, Shrek, it's going to list all the carts within your library that Shrek was in, and in this case, it's in deleted carts. Okay. Now, this would be a good time to adjust your screens. Since I am on the website, I'm demonstrating on the website, you may have to do a little bit of scrolling. So I'm going to be logging in here. You may have to be doing a little bit of scrolling to see some of this, so I'll try and go slow for you. All right, so that's a simple search. Now, advanced search here. This is going to be a little more intricate. If you want more details, you can drop this down by account, by fund, branch, or even listed out by shopper within your library. The last shopper, current shopper, it gets much more detailed. All right, so that's a much more detailed search. And again, this is all carts within your library. They can be deleted, they can be ordered, shipped, and so forth. Okay? I'm going to go back to one-click search. I find this the most useful when I'm demonstrating to customers, and they definitely really like that. I'm going to start with Open Carts. Open Carts is an area which allows you to view all the open carts throughout your library, all users across the board who are signed in under your library, okay? So it's kind of nice. It gives you a good view on what people are working on, what carts are in progress, what's been ordered, and provides you the ability to access all of these carts. You can do cart management here. For instance, you can delete multiple carts at a time. Now, keep in mind, you can't delete other users' carts. So you can go through, if you have 50 carts under your login, feel free to go ahead and use this Open Carts area to delete them if they're old and you're not going to use them. You can do that by using this functionality down here at the bottom. You can perform functions such as downloading your vendor records here. You can download your mark on the spot records, as well as request an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV file. Here is that delete button where you can copy cart. Okay, so you do have functions. Let me point out some of the items that are available in here. You can see the name of the cart. It's listed out, the account number, when it was created, and of course like the total, the quantity, subtotal, and so forth. You may have to scroll a little bit to the right to see that, but I just want to let you know that it's there. Okay? Now the next area we're going to go to is those deleted carts. Here's a listing of all the carts that your selectors and users have deleted. All right, we're going to keep a nice list of that. Don't worry. If you have somebody that has come to you and said, hey, I have accidentally deleted a cart, you can come to this area and do a search for it. Again, it's going to list out the name. It's going to list out the date and so forth. And if you have deleted it, if you find it, you can go down to the function down here. There's an undelete option, and this will throw that cart back into Open Carts. All right, so I get that request often, so I just wanted to share that with you, and hopefully you find that useful. You can even view these carts. You can hit that cart ID, and it's going to list out everything in that order. Okay, it will give you the shopper, the previous shopper, and so forth. Okay. All right, I'm going to search again. Back to my one-click here. Next is our ordered carts. These are all of my orders that are listed. These are all orders that have been sent to Midwest Tape. These have not yet shipped in full, so they're still in progress. They're still active. It's going to give you the names of the carts, the cart ID, the status, account number, and purchase order, which is important, when it was created and submitted, and so forth. At this time, you still have those functions down at the bottom. So say you've submitted an order but have forgotten to download your vendor records, no worries. You can still do that, all right, from the status here. I'm going to further click on one of these orders because I want to show you that all the way to the right, you'll see that the last column, there's a status, and it's going to tell you if it's still on order or if it has shipped. Since this is in the ordered area, it's definitely, there are still items that are on order, and that could be due to because of street date. Okay, maybe it has, the street date has not come to fruition quite yet, so it's still going to stay there. All right? You can print these off, by the way. It's a printable document. Next, I'm going to go to cancellations. When you go to cancellations, notice that this brings it up by title. Before we were looking at the order results by order, this brings it up by title. So this is kind of nice. You can see all the titles that have been canceled in our system. You just want to check it once in a while. It's just you'll see it not by user, but throughout your library. Okay, so it's between all users. It's comprehensive. Now, these three areas on the bottom, these are all the shipped areas. And you can narrow them down because you can have many years of shipped orders. So it's going to give you shipped this year, perhaps shipped this and last, and then all accumulative shipped orders right there at last. Let's take a look at shipped this year. The importance of this, and notice that we've got 20 pages of shipped orders here, so that's quite a bit. This is because it's by title. So actually, to change that, I'm going to go back to orders, then shipped this year. There's all my orders. These have all been shipped in full. Okay, these orders are complete. If you need to go back and reference them, you can. If you need to make reports, you can do that by downloading CSV files. Actually, here, let me select the cart. My fault. Let me select one right here and demonstrate how I can download some information. All right. I'm going to go ahead, and these are all the titles that are in this order. I'm going to hit check all. I can request how I would like my file delivered. Notice this file delivered was through FTP, and just keep a note of that. I'm going to go through and show you something else here in a second. And then you can also have a request to be sent to an email. Okay. Notice you can also do this with a vendor mark file and also a CSV, but right now we're just doing Excel. All right. You can select the columns of information that you want to see, which is really cool. All right. You can do title. You can do fund, status. This will help you build an Excel spreadsheet. So you can do an Excel spreadsheet, or I definitely recommend that because you can manipulate the information to how you want it to be. Okay. And I'm going to do that again in another area. So that's the download wizard for that. But I just wanted to show you that these functions were available at this level. I'm going to take you to the settings area. Notice when I went to the download wizard and it said FTP, this library, I went back to the settings tab, and Mike had mentioned this earlier. Under downloads, this library has been set up to have their orders sent through FTP. There is the FTP information that has been set up with us. So this information was communicated between us and the library to have that set up. So that will happen every time they place an order. Okay, so that's what that Downloads tab is, and I definitely wanted to show you that. You can even include your timestamp and file names. So I thought that was important to demonstrate. Okay. That was just my side note, so thank you. All right. So that was my tools and search orders. All right. Now, the next tab I'm going to show you is my OCLC Mark Quote Tab. All right, now this icon provides you with the information you need to make an informed decision not only about MARC records, but cataloging options that you have available through Midwest Tape. It's all right here. All right, lots of links with the different download instructions and so forth. And then also you would have a comparison chart. Okay. Next, we have a split cart function here. Now, you have the ability to split a cart. If you have one large cart, you have the ability to split that large cart into multiple smaller carts. And you can do that in 3 different ways. First of all, you can choose your cart. Let's say, notice I'm working with a cart currently up here that's $1,868. $1,868.51. Let's say you can only submit orders with a maximum of $500. And I have had a library call me at the end of the year, and they have needed this service before. So I had to show them how to split the cart up into many smaller carts. You know, they did not want to lose that information. So down here it asks you, how do you want to split the cart? Well, you can split that into having so many products or less, or you can split into so many carts. So say I want 5 different carts, and it's going to adjust that same number of products into each cart. Or the last option is kind of what I'm looking for. I want to split into carts having a total dollar amount of, let's say, $500 or less. So once I perform this function here, it's going to split that cart of $1,868 into 4 different carts. You're going to have 3 with 500, and then you're going to have a 4th cart with 368. You'll be able to name them as well. Okay? So I definitely wanted to show you that feature, which I feel is very neat. A lot of people may not know about that, so that's why we like to go into these. Now, I'm going to go into my open orders report. I'm kind of skipping ahead. This is a shortcut. I want to point out that this open orders report as well as this cancellation report is also available right here on our home page under useful reports. All right, so I just wanted to point that out, but they're also accessible here under tools. Open orders report, you can pull reports for all your accounts, and then you can sort by different criteria. You can group the products by branch, and this report you can have results displayed in a PDF file or an Excel spreadsheet. Again, for cases, if I want to manipulate my open orders report and see different ways of information, which I do often, and I also encourage libraries to do so, by different columns, by sorting, definitely use an Excel spreadsheet. But if you just want a snapshot of that order, definitely look for a PDF if you need to turn it into somebody or so forth. So let's demonstrate an open orders report. I'm going to get this report. I'm going to open it with Excel. Now I got to share this with you. So I can show you what it looks like here. Open it up. There we go. You may have to do a little bit of scrolling. I apologize, but you get the gist there. We've got a nice Excel spreadsheet full of all this information. It's quite a bit of information that is given to you in this open orders report. It's going to give you the titles, prices, and for open order report, this open order, the time frame goes back. Everything's on the open order. Thank you, Elaine. The time frame goes back. It shows everything that is on open order. And what I would like to demonstrate, when I'm checking a library, I like to delete that top column there so I can start sorting different columns. So I will go ahead and I'll sort, and hopefully you can all see that if you go to the right. I like to sort by order date. You know, and I can see that. I'll sort oldest to newest, and I'll see that, oh, some of these are older, but then you look at the street date of these titles and you notice they have a late street date. So I'm like, oh, okay. I can anticipate those coming up in August, late September, and so forth. All right. So there's a lot of information here, and there's a lot of different ways that you can use it. Okay, but this is a good way to look at what you have on order. Okay, this is stuff that has not shipped yet at all. Okay. I'm going to go back to all right, very good. Now next, I'm going to just do a cancellation report, and I'm just going to tell you about it. This you can also request in the PDF or an Excel spreadsheet, but this is going to include canceled titles, and you can do it in the past 30, 60, 90 days, and so forth. And this is going to be current and up to date, okay? So I would check this often to see what titles have been canceled in the system. All right, and that, again, pulls up a very similar Excel spreadsheet of those canceled titles. So that's another way to look at that piece of information for you. Now, I'm going to go to this icon here, Custom Order Reports. This is great. This is a report that is going to set a multitude of different parameters. And you can save those parameters so that you can go back to it at any time and use it over and over again. So it's great for reports that need to be run on a regular basis. For instance, if you need annual, quarterly, or even monthly reporting, something maybe based on fund or POs, stuff that is shipped, and so forth, I mean, you can create your own reports right here. We already have 3 created custom order reports, and this bottom one here, okay, maybe this is titles that were ordered in 2010, juvenile CD orders. Let's look at this year-to-date shipped for 2012, 2013 year. You got to select the report. We can either run it if it's good to go, if it's already been tweaked and it's ready to be run. I can run that report, but let's check it out first. I'm going to edit it. But here's our custom order report, and this looks very familiar when you hit New to create a new report as well. You can name it, put in a description for your other users. Other users throughout your library can access this report, okay, because it's under our Tools tab. You can determine your output, put in your basic criteria. This report calls for shipped titles, and we're asking to show the branch distribution. Another neat feature here is you can break it down by purchase order. If you are looking for a specific purchase order that you've used throughout the year, or if you have a blanket PO that you've used, put it in there. We can pull that information and break it down by other criteria, such as accounts. So if you have multiple accounts set up, you can select those, as well as funds. Be sure to save the report. Now, to run the report, you simply hit the checkbox. I'm going to run it. I'm going to hit Run. All right, custom order report. I'm going to have to share this with you, so bear with me just a second. And we get this nice-looking report. And again, since this is in Excel spreadsheet format, I can kind of manipulate my columns. But notice how it has grouped my branches and totaled them. That's a total for this branch here. All my titles throughout this report. There's another branch that's been totaled. Branch total right there. Okay. A lot of good information that is available at your own fingertips. If you ever need help with anything like this, feel free to give us a call. I love going over this kind of reporting and so forth. But I just want to show you that it's available, that you can do it yourself, okay, as well. All right. Now, I'm going to go back to the website. And my Tools tab here. All right, last two pieces, or last two columns of information, or two icons, I must say, actually. We have our invoices and statements. Now, we have invoices available on our website for printing, but it's only invoices from April 1st to current. If you want invoices prior to that date, go to the home page, and again, under the same area, useful reports, you can request invoices. All right, and it's going to pop in your email. You can put in those invoice numbers or just give us a call. I wanted to point that out, but let's go back to Tools and Invoices. Okay. You can search specific invoices or you can put in a date range. From here, these are all, your invoices will be listed within that date range there. You can print these off, you can email them, you can access them right there. So no need to call in anymore to request your invoices. They're right here, right on our website. And again, any invoices needed before April 1st, definitely give us a call or request that with the invoice request feature. All right. Same thing with statements. Statements we have available as well. Let's see. So if you didn't know that was available to view on the website, here you go. We've got our statements here. You simply just click the blue. Anything that's blue, that when you hover over it, that puts a line under there, it's a hyperlink, okay? So it's clickable. But there, I mean, you can print that right off, right at your fingertips. Last but not least, I skipped over the outstanding mark on the spot report to show you the invoices and statements because I have a slide for it. Outstanding mark on the spot report. This icon gives you access to any full mark records that you've ordered, but in the rare case, the OCLC has not cataloged the item before you receive the product. You still can look at that report. Actually, this is also for vendor records. When you're downloading mark on the spots and they're not yet available to you, we have a report to show you. That's a better way to put it. And I'll go to PowerPoint. Right here. And this is what that report looks like. It's going to give you the title. It's going to give you the product ID, who requested it, and the date requested. So once that mark on the spot is available to you, then it will be delivered. You can, in place, get the free vendor record while you're waiting for that. And if I have a minute, I would like to show you actually where you can access this and what I'm talking about. On the website, in your cart, when you go to download mark on the spot, actually, this will help explain it a little better. Okay, view cart. Let's go into Smart Cart here. Sorry if that's a little jumbled. Download mark on the spot. Here we go. I've got my titles listed right out here. Notice the World Cat symbol. I can hit check all. Now, all of those titles have a mark on the spot available. If you do not see that World Cat symbol, then you will see that report. It will hang on to you. It will hang on to that information and send you that file when it's complete. Okay? Well, very good. I want to go ahead and at this time, I want to go ahead and go into Q&A if we have any questions, and we can pass this on to Elaine Schlagheck. Elaine, do we have any Q&A questions? Okay. We've got quite a few, so not yet. Not quite yet.
There we go. Okay, yeah, we do have some questions that have come up. Some pretty good questions. Some of them you answered while we were going along. But one of the questions that we had, let me get back to my pull my full list of everybody's questions. I was looking at the new one there. Is it possible to pull a branch or a fund summary right off of the shopping cart? And can I print it?
Why, yes, you can.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and show you.
There we go. That's better.
Let me go back into my demonstration library. You can view your branch and fund summary when you're viewing a cart. Okay, and how you can do that is through this cart function, the blue shaded area. You've got different features and functions, and you can go to this branch and fund summary report. Okay. There we go.
Okay. So you want to pull down?
It's not pulling up here. There it is. I apologize. It was in another tab. Here we go. This is our branch and fund summary report. Okay, and it's going to list out the cart, your library info, and notice how the branches are summarized here, as well as the funds, and then the total both. And you can print up at the upper right hand right there. It gives you the option to print. Notice down here, it also tells you the product's not assigned to a branch. Okay? So good question. Thank you.
Okay. Another question that we had was, can you go back to the vendor marked record profile setup just to show them where that is again? We had a few questions on that.
Sure.
Okay. So what tab did you just click on?
That is under Settings,
Mm-hmm.
Vendor Mark Config.
Okay.
Clicking on that.
All right. And this is where you can decide what, as Mike was saying earlier, what tags you want on your profile for your free vendor records. And then so long as we have the information in our database, when you load your free vendor records, if those are checked as one of the lines, that information will be there. And then, of course, the extended attributes he was talking about, in the 245, we know it's not proper cataloging, but if you want that media type, DVD or CD, after the title in the 245, that's where you would check that box, etc. So there's some really great profiling that you can do on here just to set it up just the way you want it. And then you just hit Save at the bottom, and then when you pull in your vendor records, that would come in the way you want it. Another reason we set this up is a lot of libraries were deleting certain things on the vendor records every time they pulled them in. And so all you need to do is go uncheck that line, and you won't have to delete that every time because it won't show up for you. So that'll be good. Okay. How many titles can I put in a cart? I don't think we found a limit yet, have we?
There's no limit. As of right now, we have not met a limit. So you can put as many titles as you want.
Right. But on the shopping cart, if you have more than 200 titles, we'll start paging for you. So you see at the bottom, or towards the bottom of your screen there, it has page 1 of 1. If you had more than 200 titles, it would say page 1 of 2. And then you can page to the right and see the rest of your titles. But we also use this to help with collection development in general, and that's another reason why we don't have a limit on how many titles you can have in a cart, because we use it too. And you can have a multitude of titles, as you well know, for open-and-date collections assistance. Okay. Another question we had related back to your cancellation report and opens order report. You answered the one with the open orders report, or I'm sorry, the cancellation report, that when you pull it, the question was, how far back does it go? When you go into your cancellation report, you choose how far back it goes, 30, 60, 90, 120, or 150 days. 150 is the limit on that. So if you do need to know anything further, just call us and we'll help you with that. We'll pull it directly from our system. The open orders report indeed is anything that's on open orders, whether you ordered it a year ago because it doesn't street until 2013. Anything on open orders will show up here regardless of the time you ordered it. So hopefully that helps as well. All right, let me see if there's any other questions here. And we are getting to the end of the time, so if we don't get to your question, I will certainly email you or give you a quick call to get that information there for you.
Thank you, Elaine.
Certainly.
And you ladies can hear me?
No.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we can.
Very good. So there's just some last-minute information that we wanted to share with you, and wanted to let you know that News and Views is our blog to communicate any and all relevant news and industry trends as it relates to the library world of AV material. And wanted to let you know we have a new blogger on board, and this is a local favorite, a film and entertainment critic by the name of Kirk Baird, and he's been writing some really interesting and insightful entries on the blog, so we invite you to check that out and also to send any topic ideas to newsandviews@midwesttapes.com. We'd also like to invite you to like on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And we're especially excited for our webinar coming up next month. And we're going to be joined by Jody Cohen and Cheryl Herman from Random House as we discuss and highlight their fall 2012 and spring 2013 titles in their lineup for books on tape and the juvenile titles for listening library. You're going to have the ability to ask questions and learn about what the highly anticipated authors are coming out with in the near future. You can register today for that under the webinars panel on our homepage. And I'd also want to end with, Blaine, you know that I'm going to be sending a survey out shortly. I'm going to be asking you for feedback on this webinar, as well as ask you for any future topic suggestions, and see if you need us to follow up with you on anything. We really appreciate your feedback, and anyone who completes the survey will be eligible to be chosen among all the survey respondents to win a special prize pack from Midwest Tape. So I would like to thank all of you again for joining us this afternoon, and on behalf of Lisa, Elaine, and I, have a great day. Thanks again.
Thank you.